violence.
All right, we saw some serious allegations that have been leveled against Disha. Let me cut across to our guest joining us, Dhruv Jatti, who is a student activist who has also held a big protest in Bengaluru last night. We also have Tara Krishnamurthy, an activist joining us from Bengaluru, who has been quite vocal. I'll start with you, Tara. Please take us through what, in your opinion, first of all, we believe that many of the students, the activist community in Bengaluru knew Disha very well. Would you be able to give us her background, and what, in your opinion, does this arrest really speak of?
Nabila, thank you. I don't know Disha personally. I do know of her as an activist, being a resident and active citizen in Bengaluru myself. And she was working on lake cleaning efforts, tree planting efforts. She was highly conscious of the environment. And that is the context in which, I have known of her. Her arrest is more shocking because, she was, as you in the news organization know, her parents are shocked because they were told she's being taken in for some questioning. But that was not the case. So why were they lied to? Why was there is no FIR that's in public. There's no lawyer that she has had. There's been so many due process sort of violations. She doesn't have a history of crime or priors. Even the Delhi police knows that. And why is an external police, as opposed to Karnataka police, acting on this? Why wasn't Karnataka government told about this, or provide protection for her, for a citizen of Karnataka who lives in Karnataka?
Here, according to the police, we also heard the Minister of State Home Affairs, Kishan Reddy, also speaking that the Delhi police are doing their duty. They are cracking down on what really went behind or fanned the Republic Day violence, which resulted in mayhem in the national capital. And this is a serious issue. We're not looking at age, we're not looking at gender. If anyone's involved, they will be brought to book. That's what they say.
I think the Delhi police should do their duty and should crack down on whoever's involved in the violence. But that is the whole point. Why should random citizens' rights be violated in that process? If that is indeed the case, by all means, make sure a lawyer is present for her. By all means, make the FIR public. Why tell her parents that she's only being taken to questioning? Why is she being questioned in a city outside her own city? Is there no place in Karnataka for her to be questioned? Why aren't Karnataka police involved? And why are, the even more shocking thing is you have members of parliament tweeting and comparing her to Ajmal Kasab and Burhan Wani, who are terrorists, caught with assault rifles and explosive and killing people. I think, so how does that infuse confidence that there is any fairness in the process when her rights have been violated right from the get-go of, what is being told to her parents, to a lawyer not being present, to her, being remanded to 5 days custody when she has no priors? Is she not answering questions? Why not just sit her down in Karnataka and ask questions? You first, please establish the reason for the arrest very clearly. Then you arrest. You don't arrest and then reveal that, she may have some connections to some group.
Call. They've understood that there has been a Zoom call with some Khalistani groups right before Jan 26th violence, and that Zoom call was allegedly conducted on how to fan and flare violence on Republic Day. That's what the Delhi police is.
Does the IPC say that any of this means she doesn't have access to a lawyer, or that she cannot be questioned in Karnataka, or that members of parliament should tweet comparing her to a terrorist? Then is she going to get a fair trial? Does any of this mean that her citizens' basic rights, human rights, should be violated? All this only means even more to follow the due process, because if the Delhi police really has evidence, proper evidence, there is no need to charge her for editing a toolkit.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you. Now, that's the question. Is there anything in that toolkit that's not already on public domain? That's exactly what critics ask. What has she said that already people don't know? Dhruv Jatti, he's a student activist. You've held a protest in Bengaluru, Dhruv. What, in your opinion, this arrest, the kind of message that sends out to many of you students who are very active in activism, very active and vocal about anything that happens in the country, what does this arrest mean to you?
Good afternoon, Nabila ji. So, what it means to students and the student community and parents and society in general is more of like it's creating fear between people, right? And to be fair enough, yesterday there were not many people who were ready to come out in support and solidarity for Disha, even though we were just giving a plant. As a show of peace and sign to the police. This shows the level of hate and fear that's been spread amongst our society, and it's getting really tight and difficult. I'm glad that I was able to actually initiate something in solidarity with her yesterday, and I'm glad that students of Bangalore are ready to stand along Disha's battle. It's now up to the rest of India if they want to wish and save our democracy. It's come to such a stage where it's extremely frightening for all of us. Like Taraji had mentioned, a three-time Bangalore Central MP used Twitter to compare her to a terrorist, and right after that there was a minister from Haryana who came out to say something with regard to how Disha's name must be, how people like Disha must be destroyed. So it's really saddening, because in Bangalore, if you see, you've voted for MPs, who are between the age of 30s, 40s, and
Dhruv,
50s. So they're
Dhruv,
the
the
ones who
question
understand social
that
media.
arises here is that what does Disha know about the farmers' agitation? What does Disha know about the farm reforms? For decades now, lakhs of farmers have committed suicide. Reforms were necessary and mandatory. Why should Disha be commenting on something that she has no in-depth analysis of? And why should she be involving people across the globe? Those are questions that are being asked. This is international
See,
propaganda
Nabila ji,
that's defaming India on an international stage, a global stage. And that is sedition according to the police.
I agree with what you're saying, no doubt. To be honest, Pakistan and their medias have been commenting about it as well. They should be more worried about what's happening in Gilgit Baltistan. But now when you speak about the farmers issue, let's also understand that it turned into more of a human rights issue, right? So that's why you had celebrities like Rihanna, Greta Thunberg commenting on it, and that's again where climate change activists play an important role, because they contribute to activism in general, climate change, human rights, and different spheres that are very closely linked together.
Got your
So
point.
so if
Dhruv,
you
I'm going to
actually
put you on
yeah.
pause right here. Of course, several questions that's being raised on Disha Ravi's arrest. I'm going to take you through a few that critics are asking right now as to why Zoom call with self-confessed Khalistani Dhaliwal. If at all, Dhaliwal has established himself as Khalistani. Disha to have a call with him, to be interacting with him, or anybody else for that matter, is this not sedition? Can a Zoom with Khalistani be passed off as activism? That's the question that's being asked. And what purpose does colluding with anti-India Dhaliwal really serve? And in what way does the Khalistani support pro-farmer activism? And why did Greta Brigade give separatist Khalistani space? Zoom with Khalistani Dhaliwal, precise reason for arrest. Is that the reason for arrest? Those are the questions that have been asked here. I'd like to cut across to the advocate also joining us, Naveen Chomal. Mr. Naveen, here is a 21-year-old girl who's been arrested. On one hand, you have the activism community crying foul, saying she's just an innocent activist. On the other hand, you have the police claiming that she has Khalistani links. She's also, in fact, been on a Zoom call, interacted with a self-established, declared Khalistani activist, and that cannot be pardoned. So what, in your view, is the kind of penal action that can be taken against Disha? And will that level up to sedition?
Let me put it in very simple words. The police have taken a very proper action. They have applied the charge of sedition. Now, if Disha has got any case, she can anytime engage a lawyer who's far more proficient in the law as compared to any other panelist over here trying to create some atmosphere in the country in favor of Disha or try to shield in favor of Disha. So if that lawyer has got any point, he can anytime point out to the courts. Courts are there to judge whether there is a violation of human rights or not, whether there is excess of police rights or police powers or not. So not happening anywhere. In the courts, court has understood the case. Court has found it a suitable case for remanding her to police custody for 5 days. Now these people, they have got a tendency since a long time, which exposed to all. They are indulging in all anti-national activities. joining hands with the enemies, have direct link with the terrorists. And we have seen what has happened on 26th of January. So there was a violence. It was a pre-planned violence, and they wanted to do it. People have died. Our image has gone down. It's a clear sedition, and definitely the people who are involved will be taken action against. And there is a tendency of these people, the modus operandi of these people, that whenever their people are arrested, they start shouting human rights violation, this and that. But why don't you go to the court? In court, doors are open. Why don't you go
No, but that's
challenge
the
over
question
there?
that's being
They know
asked as to
Supreme
why
Court
was the
will
police,
not
why was there not due process followed? Why was there not a notice served to her? Why was she questioned?
Where is the violation? I'm asking, where is the violation of due process of law? She was arrested, immediately produced before the magistrate. So in the court. The court has judged the case and remanded to police custody. This is the due process of law.
All right, let me
Had
take that to
Disha been-
Tara. Tara, due
had
process of
Disha
law
been
has been
detained for
followed.
10 days,
Where have the
then
police
this is also due
deviated from
process
the
of
actual
law.
protocol?
What is this? The police, she lives in Karnataka. Could she have not been questioned in Karnataka? Does she have priors? Why does she need to be remanded to custody at all? First, question her. Only if there's a problem, then you need to arrest her. And then, where is her lawyer to so far? Why would you engage a lawyer only after? Where was her lawyer present when she was in front of a magistrate? Is she a lawyer herself? Who will argue for her in front of the magistrate? Only the state will argue. It's state versus Disha, no? It's not a question of whether you defend somebody. It's a question of whether every citizen has rights. That's all it matters. It doesn't matter. I don't need to agree with Disha. I don't know Disha. I really don't care whether she is right or wrong. What I care is that whatever is constitutionally
So maybe
guaranteed.
she is a cog in a larger plan here, and that's what's precisely what the Delhi police is looking at.
Exactly,
that she could be
exactly.
part of a
She
larger
can be part of
conspiracy,
any plan
knowingly,
that-
unknowingly.
That doesn't give them
All
the right
these
to
people
violate
who are
rights.
trying to cry
You can be a
foul and
cog
say
in
there is
any plan.
violation
That
of
doesn't give them the right
due
to say
process
no
of
lawyer
law,
needs
are
to be
not able
present
to point
in
out
front of a
anything.
magistrate to argue your case. Who is supposed to argue her case? Why is an
Can
MP
she not
Now,
be
now the police, Tara, has brought up
You have all
Khalistani
the
link,
money
saying
to
that this
supply
man,
Biryani to all
Dhaliwal,
the
is a
students who are there in
self-proclaimed
the streets.
Khalistani. And we know very well any activist, anybody who's been very vocal, and if you're into activism, you know very well that Khalistanis are an anti-national elements. Violent or non-violent is a different issue altogether, but they're anti-national elements. So now if
Nabila,
you're
whether
willingly
she
going to
is
get on a
guilty
Zoom call with
or
a Khalistani,
Whether she is guilty or innocent will only be proved in court. Neither on
Yeah,
TV,
that you-
nor
that
by
we
the
need not
lawyers,
learn from
nor
you.
by
That we
Delhi
need not learn
police.
from you.
So Delhi
Because we
police,
know-
the most important thing here is that Delhi police's word is one side of the story because it is state versus Disha. Her side of the story is what needs to be narrated by her lawyer who has been absent
To
thus
the
far.
court,
That is
to the
whole
court, not
point.
on the streets.
Naveen, she did not have a lawyer. She was not granted permission to get a lawyer. The Delhi police flew down, knocked at her door, arrested her, took her straight to court. Where was the time for her to
Claims
even
they are
think and
taking her
consider
for questioning,
legal
not arresting her.
help?
Why did they not say they were arresting her?
That does not happen. Whenever a person is arrested, they follow all the guidelines laid down by the Supreme Court in DK
No, Mr.
Basul's
Naveen, that's
case.
precisely
And
what the activism community is asking as to why
they
there was
are
no legal
liars,
help
they are
granted
cheaters, they
to
are
her
frauds,
right from the
they are
start.
spreading false propaganda. Police have taken all the steps that is required to be done. These people are spreading lies. So let us not fall in the
Wrong,
trap.
wrong.
Let us
Naveen
not
ji,
give them a
Naveen ji,
platform.
Yeah,
this is
Mr.
wrong.
Let us
Lawyer,
not give them
look,
this
nobody
front
is
to
calling
spread
your
lies.
names.
No, no,
Dhruv,
no.
Nobody
Dhruv,
is
what are
calling
you
you
trying to bring in
No,
here? Dhruv,
see,
what's your opinion?
Please refrain from
So,
calling others.
Dhruv, why don't you go
See,
to
Nabila,
Supreme
something
Court
that we have
and
to understand
tell
is that
violation
if
of
Bangalore
rights?
police was credible enough to handle the whole drug scandal, then I'm sure they well and fair could have even taken up the Disha case. If you're trying, if
you
you're able
cannot
to get
decide
what I'm
who
trying
is
to say,
going
they
to
were.
investigate the case. A criminal cannot decide.
She's from Bangalore.
See,
She's
a
from
criminal
Bangalore. Bangalore
cannot
police
She
should
is
have
not
taken
a
it up.
criminal
Investigate
until
the case.
proven. He is calling
Yes,
her names.
that
His
very
lawyer
word
is
is
calling
there.
people names. Can you have a conversation
No,
on
Naveen
TV
ji, this is
without
wrong.
calling people
This
names?
is wrong, Naveen.
What
No
wrong?
Like
personal
fraud,
giants. I think we
like
stick to that.
criminals.
Let me give you a moment to breathe. Let me quickly cut across. After Disha Ravi's arrest, two more activists are currently wanted by the Delhi police in the Greta Thunberg toolkit case. Warrants are also issued against activists Nikita Jacob and Shantanu. They face charges that are non-bailable. As per the Delhi police, Nikita, who is part of the same WhatsApp group where Disha shared the Greta toolkit documents, is currently untraceable. Nikita has moved the Bombay High Court meanwhile through her advocate for interim protection against police action. In fact, her lawyer has now sought urgent circulation, and hearing on this case will be held tomorrow. Nikita's legal team meanwhile has issued a statement countering all those claims made by the Delhi police. While the Delhi cops claim that Nikita has been non-cooperative in the probe, her legal team says that these allegations by the Delhi police are completely baseless. In fact, they say that even the Panchnama was carried out. Nikita is not absconding, and therefore they will produce all evidence in court. Now, Delhi cops say that Nikita has been untraceable since the 11th of January, but her legal team says that cops recorded her statement on 10th of Feb and also made her sign the Panchnama. Nikita's legal team claims that they will present all evidence in court. Let me go back. Mustafa, in fact, is joining us right there from Nikita's residence outside. Mustafa, take us through. Nikita, is she absconding or not? Delhi police claim that she's escaped since the 11th of Jan, while her lawyer says that just on the 10th her statement was recorded.
Well, yes, we can safely say that she is not present at her house, and the Delhi police is not aware about her location. The current address they have is the Goregaon building where we are currently present at B Wing 1101 is the flat where she stays. Here, police took her statement, did a Panchnama, seized some of the electronic evidences, and then again they came back, and since then she was not found. The lawyers of Nikita have said that Nikita has cooperated given her prima facie statement, but the Delhi police is clearly now has issued an NBW, which means that after Disha Ravi, it's Nikita who they want in their custody for interrogation in this case further. And since now Nikita is not traceable, she has moved the interim bail plea, which will be heard on Tuesday. From there, she'll get an anticipatory interim bail. If she gets it, she'll have to move to Delhi for the anticipatory bail plea. We'll have to see, wait and watch whether Delhi police till then gets to her and takes her into their custody or not. Back to you.
Right. All right. Thank you very much, Mustafa, for joining us. I'll go over to our guest. Please, Tara, here is another girl, Nikita Joseph, who the Delhi police claim that she's been absconding. Non-bailable warrant issued against her, and she too was on that Zoom call. Now she's taken legal help. She's not available at her residence. The Delhi police say that she's absconding. Meanwhile, she's already reached court.
I mean, the law must prevail and due process must be followed. The issue is not whether the Delhi police or any particular police have the right to investigate a crime. The issue is whether they are following due process or not. And the more they claim, for example, in Disha's case, that they, were only taking her in for questioning and then went ahead and arrested her and remanded her to custody without a lawyer present. These things, and then look at the charges for editing a toolkit. You want to file charges for, why are you talking to a separatist? That's a separate thing. But why would you file a charge saying editing a toolkit? It seems frivolous and done on purpose. So it doesn't breed any confidence in the fact that they're following due process. The one thing we must always remember, you may like Disha, you may not like her. You may agree with her, you may not agree with her. She may actually be innocent, she may actually be guilty. All that the law will determine. The only two things we need to remember are, A, every citizen is entitled to the due process of the law, and violating the due process only reflects very poorly on the state. Second, whatever the police or the state say, they are one party in this case because it is state versus somebody. They are one side of the equation and you're not hearing the other side at all, and you don't get to judge them to be guilty. When a sitting member of parliament compares her to a assault rifle wielding terrorist who has killed hundreds of people, it doesn't give you confidence that the government is going to treat her fairly. It tells you that the state is out to witch hunt, not that the state is out to find the culprit.
Well, this is exactly what the state says, that the likes of Disha are on a witch hunt. They're trying to defame India on a global stage without having understanding on the farmers' reforms, the agitation.
Which brings us, Nabila, squarely to the notion of sedition. The very sedition...
I'd like to stop you right there. Quick word from Mr. Naveen. Naveen, what is exactly the law? How does the law define sedition here? Because this is a serious charge against Disha. How do you define sedition? What's the punishment for it? going by what is put out on the toolkit. Remember, nothing in that toolkit is not already in public domain. Whatever is in that toolkit is what everybody knows already. So what is sedition here?
It is not just confined to the toolkit. There are various anti-national activities done by Disha, and they are all intertwined and having relation with each other. So let them not try to segregate each other.
No, I'm asking you the definition. Please go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll read out the definition of sedition to you people. Section 24A of the Indian Penal Code, sedition. Whoever, by words either spoken or written, or by signs or by visible representation or otherwise, brings or attempts to bring into hatred or contempt or excites or attempts to excite dissatisfaction towards the government established by law in India shall be punished with imprisonment for life, to which fine may be added, or with imprisonment which may extend to 3 years, to which fine may be added. So you see, sedition has a sweeping activities under it, and the main intention should be to do something against the government which is duly established by the law. So now today we are in a democracy, we are having a proper setup of government. These people, these leftist urbanists, they are joining hands with Khalistani people who are
unfortunately, there's so much said about Khalistani, but so far there's no face. They've not pinned a face for this Khalistani group. They've constantly been speaking about Khalistanis, but there's no face to this Khalistani group. Let me quickly take a word. And the contents that I've gone through that's present in that toolkit is all about know the farmer agitation, what is farmer agitation and why are people agitating. In fact, facts and stats on agriculture in India, these are the kind of statements written in that toolkit. So where is it insightful? How is it insightful? How is this seditious? That's the question that activists are asking now as they object to this arrest. Let me quickly, a quick word. Mr. Naveen, I heard your point. A quick word from Dhruv Jatti as I wrap here. Dhruv, the student community largely in Bengaluru seem enraged. What next for you now?
So, Nabila, see, one thing that I want to inform you all is that Disha was not a self-denounced Khalistani activist. So that's something that we must also keep in mind. And when you speak about the student community, there are many organizations that are coming out to, come out with regard to their activism. They're going to, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure that there will be people who through social media are going to be supporting it on ground. You might find people, you might not find people, but there are a lot who are in solidarity with what is happening because the main crackdown should be on the Khalistanis, on the actual anti-national elements who were present on the 26th of January, and a climate change activist such as Disha, who has never even been had or had links with Khalistan before, be taken into probe this way.
Dhruv, thank you very much. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Naveen, for joining us with those details. Now, we do know that this is an arrest. It's taken up